Hello and welcome to Conscious TV. My name is Iain McNay and today's guest is Penny Fenner. Hi Peter.
Hi Iain.
And you are a teacher of non-duality in the Buddhist tradition, and you've also written a book recently. You've had books out previously called A Radiant Mind.
Yes.
And you have a CD as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so today we're obviously going to talk about you yourself, your journey to an extent, and also the contents of the book. And the subtitle of the book is Awakening Unconditioned Awareness. So what is unconditioned awareness?
Unconditioned awareness is awareness. In a way, we don't have to qualify awareness itself as being unconditioned because it's already unconditioned. So it's just to say that awareness is different from the contents of awareness, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're perceiving, which is conditioned and which is changing. But awareness itself, that capacity to receive everything, is unconditioned. It's not something that changes. It's ever present. It can't be found. In a way, its sole capacity or function is to receive things as they are.
So it's what we call the never changing.
Yes.
Is it personal?
It is and it isn't, because we can be here presencing unconditioned awareness, so it's personal in that way, that we can both be in the same state, channeling it in a certain way through our body-mind, but it has nothing to do with us. So it's impersonal. So if you're presencing pure awareness, if I'm presencing it, it's the same state that's being presenced. And it's the same experience, same state that's been presenced by hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of masters throughout history.
So you were saying it's always there. So it's a question of, in a way, our availability.
Yes, but there's nothing we have to do to be available to this, because it's not a thing. It's not functioning in that subject-object relationship. So when we say it's here or it's everywhere, we're not really saying a lot, because it's not here in a location. So the great thing is that we don't have to do anything to be here in this pure way, in a way that takes us beyond suffering, because when we're in this moment, in this way, it's not possible for us to suffer. More than that, in a way we're going beyond everything. We're going beyond suffering, we go beyond the possibility of suffering. And so this is the place that's at the end of the search, at the end of the spiritual path. Because when we're here, there's nowhere further to go. So a question I often ask is, can we enhance this in some way? Can we make this better? No, we can't, again, because it's not a thing. It's not like a material. It's not a medium. It's not even a state of consciousness. So we can't tweak it and make it better. Can we degrade this? Can we move away from it? No, again, we can't, because it's not a thing. So that's the way in which it is the culmination of the spiritual path, the spiritual process, arriving here in this way.
It's always easy for me to talk about these things on a more personal point of view of how I experience things. And one of the things that I do notice more and more is that my reference point changes. And if I'm really caught up in a drama in life and I'm not very aware of the bigger picture, let's say, I'm running on my personal programs, and they change over time and they get less dramatic, but they're still in operation. And there's other times where it's almost tangible, palpable. I can feel it. The reference point draws back, and the personality, the individual, is further away, and it's like something in the background becomes stronger, and that's bigger. In fact, it's vast in a way, and that becomes a new reference point, which isn't personal, but it's more where I am based. Now, is that what you're talking about with unconditioned awareness?
Yeah, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about finding ourselves as what I sometimes call a clearing or a space. So I can't find an I inside myself as a center point of my experience. So there's no point that I'm looking out from or that I'm experiencing things from. So it's more like becoming space through which life is moving, through which this experience is arising in this moment. So if I try to find the experiencer of this, I can't find myself experiencing this, but it's all happening nonetheless. So there's no negation of anything.
So it's a movement that includes us, and we're not really separate from the movement, and we're also not the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know this space, and I can feel this space now to an extent. And I'd also like to ask you, and this is really shifting, but I'd like to ask you how you got to this place. And I know it's a long story, and often on Conscious TV we do look at people's lives to see what were the important markers and the big decisions they took. And I know that when you were younger, you did have, when you were a teenager, you had some quite strong spiritual experiences, didn't you?
Yes.
Can you describe those a little to us?
Well, what I was thinking when you were describing your experience, how that's changed, how that's evolved in the last couple of years, that going back even earlier than my teenage years, something like what you're describing was happening for me, that at quite a young age, I had a feeling of, in a way, there being two of me. I had often had a feeling of being aware of myself in a way at some distance. I couldn't really say 3 feet or 1 meter behind me, but there was a feeling of observing myself. And I thought, I'm not sure that other people are experiencing this. What I thought at the time was that it felt as though most of the time people were just doing what they were doing, like they were fully immersed and embodied in their activities. There was I'm not sure what, in some ways just a comfort and maybe even a naturalness in it, whereas I thought that I was often being accompanied by a witness, I was witnessing myself. I couldn't say more about it at that time. I didn't have labels for it, but something was there. Occasionally I'd meet people, adults, and you'd have a glance and you'd think, okay, they know what's happening for me, but they never evolved into conversations or sharings.
Right, and how was that for you? Was that unsettling, or what kind of reaction did that have from you?
I thought, okay, that's part of what's happening for me. I thought it doesn't seem to be happening for many other people. I didn't have a language for talking about it, so I just thought, okay, that this is what's happening for me.
Yeah. But I think you gave me some notes from your writing, and quite a biographical book, some notes beforehand, and I think you said you felt a little displaced by it.
Different from other people.
Yes.
And then just becoming accustomed to that.
Yeah. And then I think that led you on to do some investigations in, I think you looked at Christian mysticism.